This is my background layer. I'll just call it BG. And I'm going to do some clone stamping in order to create some differences between these two images. Now this has got a lot of very busy cars in it, so we're going to have to be careful not to make this too hard. So let's figure out what we can do. So we are going to create a new blank layer, and we're going to put our change on this layer. So we're going to do that by using the clone stamp tool. So the clone stamp tool will copy parts of one image onto another image, and we're going to have it do that onto a layer above. So we're going to have to change this sample right here because it'll be on current layer when you start. We wanted to paint using pixels from the layer below as well because there's nothing on layer 1 right now. So I'm going to do that, and you can see that I've got a very small image there, need a brush size. So I should be using my bracket keys, and that should become much bigger. If not, then we may need to go here and go to size and make something big enough to easily take out a car or 2 or 3. And we don't want the hardness to be really hard. I'll show you what I mean. Let's take a look here, and I'm going to copy this car right here. So the way the clone stamp works is that if you hold down the Alt button, you'll get a target. And I am going to target the center of this image. Click, and now we'll be able to make a copy. It'll start painting wherever we first click. So if I want to put a second car, so let's say in this lane as well, I'm going to click and paint. But because of the very hard edge there, it's very obvious that I have photoshopped that. So softening the edges is one of the really important things to do. Let me try that again. I'll show you. Alt clicking and then clicking in a new area. Then I'm just painting over the car, and now it's got a much softer edge. Now, when we look at the whole thing, knowing that there is a second car there, let's go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to Alt sample the original car, and I'm going to add another car in a row right around it. Let's zoom in on that specific area, and you'll notice that it is pretty noticeable now that this car's been clone stamped. Part of that is because the concrete behind it is dark. So let me undo that and try this again. I'm going to Alt, clone stamp, Alt click on this one. I'm going to make my brush smaller using the bracket keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to do a smaller brush and see if I can't be very precise about doing this just around the car itself. Notice that we can see the little plus showing the sample point. Where is it getting the pixels for the car from? And I'm clicking and holding and just trying to go very carefully around just the car itself and make sure I get the whole car. So now we've got 2 different scenes, and I think the fact that we've tripled it instead of just doubled it, we will be able to draw a box around that, and it should be something that's pretty obvious for them. We like to do one really easy one medium one, and one that's a little bit harder. So now that we've got that change there, you can see the change right over here on the left. So that would be our change number 1. Try and do a couple more. Let's go ahead and label this change 1. It'll actually be altered a little bit later, but we can then put that one underneath, make a new blank layer above, and then try that again with a couple more things.